What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Photoshop. This is ASA Studio. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 retouching technique. And the last technique will make you have a very good quality and a very good image or a very good result. So let's get started. First thing, let's try to look at what we're going to be doing. The first technique is going to focus more on the color correction. As you can see, our hand and the makeup, they are quite different, very, very different. And you can tell from just looking at the end and the face. So you can see all over here. So it's just as if the image is just entirely different. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the hue and saturation and also grab the selective color. So let's start with the hue and saturation, and this will focus more on the skin. I'm just going to grab, already we know it's yellow. So I'm just going to focus here and just pick any color. And you can see it selected the yellow, and we have the yellow range. So even though we increase the hue, it's going to affect just the yellow alone. So one thing we need to do is to get the color to look like the hand, the color of the hand or the skin tones of the hand. Okay, so now we're going to bring this backward, and we're having this red filling, the red and red and red. Okay, so that's too much, but we need to adjust the saturation to make it fitting. So let's make the two look the same. All right, so this should be good, 25 and 33, and not too much, 25 and 33. And we can leave the lightning. And this is what we have before and then the after. So we've corrected a lot of things in the image. Okay, so now I'm going to turn on the selective color, go to the selective color, and now the skin is now red. So we need to correct that as well. So go under the red channel, and we're going to use the magenta. So increase the magenta to get the brownish skin. I'm just going to leave it at 17. And for the yellows, we can put in some um, yellows, remove some yellows, I mean, -7. And for the cyan, we can dial in some cyan as well. If you take it backwards, let's take it backward. Okay, so for the red, the black is going to focus more on this place. So I'm going to bring it upward. If you take it up, it's going to increase the black, the dark section. So I'm going to bring it backwards just a bit, -10. And there we go with the image. Let's not take it further, -8 should be good. So we have this and this before. Okay, so now if that's too much, we can bring it down a bit to make it look natural. All right, so now create a stand visible layer, and we're going to have that. I'm going to group these two together. Okay, so the next one we're going to be doing is we're going to try to collect the exposure. As you can see, it's too bright, and somehow we can use, without the exposure we won't get the right color profile. So let's correct the exposure. Bring in some exposure adjustment layer, and I'm going to increase the gamma. Now this will decrease the um, exposure of the light, but it's not going to go far. We need to do it in camera raw filter so that we can affect just the highlight and the white. And that is what we're going to do now. So create a stem visible layer, and then let's add to camera raw filter for the next technique of photo retouching. So here we are. And the second technique, we focus more on the exposure. So let's open up the basic tab, and I'm going to use the white and the highlight. Bring down the white and the highlight. You can see now we have more details on the wristwatch, and we can bring back the white as well. But the image is not looking bright again, but we're going to correct that. So let's increase the shadows for the top part of our face, increasing the shadows, and also I'm going to increase the black, the brightening of the image. So this is acting counterclockwise with the highlight and the black. Okay, so now what we need to do is to correct the right white balance. So I'm going to grab this one, and we can pick on to say it's too bright, and let's try the eyes, and this is also too bright as well. So I'm just going to decrease it to bring this back a bit, so something like this. And let's bring this forward and bring this. Let's do it manually. We're going to do it manually. So we have this to this. Okay, so if that's too much, let's bring it back. Okay, so then there we go, there we go. I think the yellow, let's see, turn it off and on. Okay, so this look good. I'm gonna take it forward a bit. Okay, so now I'm okay with this. I'm gonna give it some texture, and I'm gonna close the basic tab. Now let's go to the color mixer, and we are working on the color. We're still working on the color. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the hue and make the orange look like the yellows. So look at what happened when I increase the orange. So just make it look like the yellow a bit, and make the red look like the red, and the yellows look like the orange. So by just adjusting the slider, I've explained this a lot. When you take the slider backwards, it makes it look like the color above. When you take it forward, make it look like the color below. Okay, so if I want to make this orange look like the red, I take it forward because red is above, and you take it backward because yellow is below. All right, so you can do the rest by making this one look green, making this one look. Let's correct the photo, and there we go. So let's go to the saturation and decrease the saturation of the orange to give the real brown niche tone, and also that of the yellows. And you can leave that of the red like that. And let's increase the orange, the green, and all the rest. Okay, so I'm going to close that, and I'm going to hit OK on the keyboard. So we have this. I'm going to turn off the rest, and we have from here to here. Now we are not done. We need to do some frequency separation. Frequency separation is the next technique. We need to remove all this little blemishes she have and roughness on her face and smoothing the tone. So I'm going to quickly do that, which is the second method. I'm talking about the second technique. So wait till I finish that. All right, so I'm done with the frequency separation, and you all know how to do frequency separation. So this is before, and then this is after. All right, so now we're going to do the eyes and teeth whitening. So we're going to whiten the eyes. So for that, we're going to grab the photo filter and choose the warming 82. Okay, so I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to grab the black and white. So grab the black and white adjustment, and after doing that, I'm going to grab these two, group them, open up the group, grab one more, which is the solid color adjustment, and hit OK. I'm going to turn it off. Now on the group, create a mask, invert it, and then let's go paint the eyes, which we want to whiten like this, and also this side. I'm just going to quickly do this. Hit X to remove it from some places. X, and let's add in some other side. Okay, so now that we have this one, you can leave it like this. You can continue. But what I like doing is I like turning off this one, and I'm going to double click on it. Okay, let's turn it off first. Double click on it and select this color. It's going to give us that, and turn it back on. Select the color filter, go and change it to divide blending mode. And now it's too bright. So you're going to go back in and increase, choose the brightness and increase it to where you feel it's looking okay. And let's zoom out. If that's too much, you can go ahead and decrease the opacity of it, or opacity of the group as a whole. So let's just decrease the opacity of the group as a whole, see where it feels natural. So we have the before, and then we have the after. So we've ended up trying to whiten the eyes, so something like this. Now the last step is to do the color grading. So let's go choose the color balance, and I'm going to start with the mid-tones. I'm going to dial in some some blues, put in some cyan and some magenta and some cyan. You can as well increase the yellows. So just find a sweet spot for it. Let's zoom in and let's see the one that works. Go to the highlight, and let's add some greens, some blues, not too much. I like making things just little right here. And then I'm going to go to the shadows, dial in some cool blue. Let's give it some green and put in some cyan. Okay, so on the color grading, I'm going to also grab the color lookup, load my 3D lot, which is the melanin lot, and hit load, and boom, and that's what we have. So if that's too much, you can decrease the opacity, but like leaving it like around 50 should be good. And now you can create a stem visible area, Control Shift Alt and E, and I'm going to select everything and group them. So this I'm ahead it. All right, so these are the four ways I edit. So we have before and then the after. You can group this and create a mask and select the brush. And if you want to bring back the red that's on a cheek, you can do so by bringing this. But who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. All right, so thank you guys for watching. I'm going to leave you right here. Next, we're going to be doing other retouching tutorials, so stay tuned. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. So once again, before